Hello, hello. It is Colin and Jose on Talking Ball. Jose has his own channel, El Tel Cockerel, but I've kind of stolen him, and he has become part of the furniture here. Love having you here, Jose. Thanks for being here. And I wanted to say to everybody watching, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on where you're watching from in the world. Been an exciting couple of days for football. Especially if you're a Spurs fan. It's been about the most exciting it could possibly be without a match for a Spurs fan, I think. And yeah, lots to talk about today. Jose, real quick, how are you doing? Good day thus far. You've been working, so that's no good. But you
No,
get to hang out with us.
yeah, working's all right because I tend to, although I manage teams, I tend to get up early and start very early, and I still continue to work till late. I continue to work until I know that my last staff have gone off duty. Um, but it's all right because I'm doing it from home. However, tomorrow is my 1 day a week. I've got to travel into the office. So tomorrow it's
Yeah.
the traveling. So tomorrow it's a 3.5 hour to 4 hour travel into work.
Oh
Do,
my God.
do my work and then 3.5 to 4 hours to come back home. So tomorrow
Wow.
tomorrow's a tiring day.
Yeah, no, that sounds awful. Awful, awful, awful. Well, be safe driving, my man. Be safe driving.
I don't drive.
Um,
I'm a non-driver, so I get transport
oh,
everywhere.
okay, cool. Well, that's even better. That's even better, even safer. As you can see, I've got a different kit up today, and I'm wearing the usual kit. But everybody, again, welcome. It's very nice to have you. You could be anywhere this morning, afternoon, or night, depending on your location. But you have chosen to be here, hanging out with Jose and I, talking Tottenham, our favorite team on the planet. More than just our favorite team, I think it is part of all of our lives. And I want to thank all of you guys for being here and sharing with us. Wayne Bonner is here. Whoa, what up, Wayne? Long time no see. Wayne says, what's up, everyone? Good to see you again. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're doing better than Jurgen Klopp, that's for sure. Um, Jose tells me there's been a press conference today that I haven't seen exactly, but I have heard a little bit about now. We won't harp on this for too long because he's sure harping on it long enough for all of us. But this was an old banner, but it still is applicable today. Salty Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp wants the match replayed, is what I have heard. And I mean, so you've heard that too, Jose. Did he act like it was gonna happen? Did he act like it was? You know what I mean? Did he act like it was a
I mean,
possibility?
I can give you what my opinion is, but he said in uncertain terms he believes the game should be replayed. Is what he said. However, if you want my opinion on it is that if you were to replay the game, it won't happen. It won't happen to start off with, because if you were to replay that, then you would have so many clubs for so many different reasons, for so many different decisions, saying, okay, in that case, you need to replay our games.
Yeah.
People could go as deep and challenge it and say, okay, well then, if you can't replay all the games, you're going to have to dock the points that have been affected. So that would affect league positions in the past, and it will bring in a whole host of ramifications.
That's
So
a really good point. Yeah,
the, the
that
only
does
way
make it.
the only way that I believe that you can change going forward, Colin, in my belief, and I'm not a lawyer, but in my belief, the only way that you can change this is if you say from this point onwards, so it could be from mid-season or it could be from the start of next season, if any if this were to occur again in these scenarios, then we could stop the game at any given time and retract a decision that's been made, or within a
Okay.
certain period, or or we can replay a game. But what you need to do is you need to let your stakeholders, who are the football clubs, know that this is what you intend to do. You then need to get the buy-in from the stakeholders, which are the football clubs, to say this is how we're going to manage VAR moving forward. This is what we're going to do, so everybody knows. Mr. Klopp shouting out for it needs to be replayed and all that. It's not going to be replayed.
I really hope you're correct. we've been on the end of so many bad decisions and rules changes and things that if they were to replay this match, I really don't know how I would handle it. I'm sure we'd smash them, to be completely honest. I think we'd come out very angry, and I think we'd smash him. I don't think he really wants to replay if he gives it some thought. Audio Artisan though was saying, "Good afternoon, chaps. Good afternoon to yourself, my man. Thank you for choosing
Good afternoon, audio,
with us. Yeah, talking ball. We are, like I said, we're talking about Jurgen Klopp for a second, but we'll move on to some bigger, better, and more important things. Oh man, and Dragon D's Nuts is here too. Oh, what's up, man? Big good days. Yes, big good days all around. Australia forever. Yeah, so Audio Artisan Dragon D's Nuts. So you've probably heard, being over in the UK, that Jurgen Klopp has said in his press conference he believes there needs to be a replay. I just wanted to throw this up. I found this morning and I thought it was very funny. Stole it from Reddit, if you can't tell by the formatting. But Jan Vertonghen on Twitter about a possible UEFA Champions League final replay says, "Count me in." And I kind of think this is what you're talking about in a way, Jose, that if they begin to if they start here, where does it end? Every match should be replayed. There'll be some decision in any match that could cause a replay if they open this can of worms. But I do love the idea of a UEFA Champions League final replay, and I think that to do it right, you'd have to have the same team. So we'd have to bring back all the players that were there. Liverpool would have to have all their same players, and that would be cool, even if it was just like an unofficial replay. Didn't really count for anything.
You've given me a thought. I'm now going to check something before I agree or disagree with you.
I'm excited. While we've got a second here, guys, we have had some jumps up in subs overnight. We've gone from 276 to 278. That means we're only 22 away from 300. The big goal, 300. So everybody, if you are watching this on repeat or live or anything, and you haven't subbed to the channel, just consider doing so. It's a great channel. We've got good content. I think we've got good hosts, and it's just a good, fun place to be. So definitely consider subbing if you haven't, and also make sure you hit the like. It really does help. It gets the video out there. It helps for more people to see, and that's always good. That's what we all want. Just some interaction with some fellow Spurs fans. Audio Artisan says, "What about Jota last season when he kicked Skip in the head?" Oh, you mean this? Yeah, exactly. That match needs to be replayed too. It's just like you were saying, Jose. It would go on forever. When would it ever stop? How many seasons back are we gonna go with these bad decisions? It's just.
So you were saying to replay the game. So I'm just trying to see what the lineups were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I'm looking at the lineups, I'm thinking to myself, would we be worse off replaying it with the lineup that if you had to replay it now, you have to use the same teams that you had back then. And if I'm looking at the teams now, I'm thinking to myself, would we be worse off by playing this now?
Yes. No, I think yeah. I mean, Vertonghen's what, 36, 34, 36. So he's up there. We would have Lloris in goal. Danny Rose would be playing left back. I don't even know when the last time he was kicking a football was. So yeah, we would definitely probably lose, but I think that it would be fun to watch for sure. Yeah, Audio Artisan, exactly. I completely agree with this. And I just want to keep showing it because it's disgusting. And how that wasn't given. How is that not a high boot? The boot is level with Jota's head. So how that's
just to go through it. Liverpool's team was Becker in goal, Alisson Becker in goal.
Oh wow.
Terence, so Arnold at right back, Matip, Van Dijk, and Robertson. All the first 5 players that I've mentioned all still play at Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum.
That's still a pretty decent midfield.
All 3 are currently still playing. Fabinho's still at Liverpool. The other 2 are still currently playing football. And then the front 3 were Mo Salah, Firmino, and Sane, who all still play football.
Yikes.
That
Yikes,
was their
yikes,
starting
yikes.
lineup. So against our starting lineup, which was Lloris, Trippier, which is still decent, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, who still play, Danny Rose, who no longer plays, and then in midfield we had Sissoko, who last I heard was at Watford, but I've not heard from him for a year or so now.
Yeah, let me Google that guy while you're. Yeah.
Harry Winks and Christian Eriksen, who's still playing. And then we had Dele Alli, who's currently out, not playing, and not in the best of form. Son and Kane. They would be the teams that you'd have to start to replay this final.
It would be on Harry. It would be on Harry Kane to win that for us. We would have to be the Harry Kane team that day.
And as for the substitutes, we've lost. You got Sanchez, Lamela, Wanyama, Vorm, who's retired, Dyer, Walker-Peters, Llorente retired, Foyth, Gazaniga, Aurier, Lucas Moura, Ben Davis.
Hey, the subs make me feel a little better. Lucas Moura would definitely get some play time if I was managing this match.
So but then you've got Liverpool substitutes. You've got Lovren, who's currently playing but is abroad, Milner, who still plays, Gomez, who's still at Liverpool, Sturridge retired, Moreno still plays, Lallana still plays, Chamberlain still plays, Mingale still plays, Shaqiri still plays, Brewster's at Sheffield United is a youngster, Origi, who still plays, and Kelleher, who's still at Liverpool.
And Poch's manager, Dragon These Nuts, pointed out very, very astutely. Yes, absolutely. It would be funny to watch. That's for sure. They definitely have more, like you were saying, current players than we do. So that would absolutely work out in their favor. But still, is it weird? I always fancy Spurs. I'm like the forever optimist. You'll find that out the longer you watch these shows. I still think that we could give them a game.
But for me, we could do, but you've got three Zimmer frame footballers. For me, you've got Danny Rose, Zimmer frame footballer, because he's not stopped playing.
What's that mean? I'm sorry.
A Zimmer frame is, the people that have to walk around with a Zimmer frame.
Oh,
like
okay.
Old people that have to walk out with a Zimmer frame to help them walk. For me, because Danny Rose doesn't play anymore, Zimmer frame footballer. Dele Alli hasn't played. For me, he's a Zimmer frame footballer at the moment because he hasn't played for a few years. And Harry Winks is a Zimmer frame footballer because he has to drop down to the Championship. All the others,
because he's Harry Winks.
All the others still play, but I think Vertonghen's retort there is absolutely brilliant.
It's the funniest. It's the best thing ever. Vertonghen has always had an amazing sense of humor. I think he's an incredibly clever guy, and I think it shows with this retort here. I know it's just a sentence, and I know it's just being goofy, but he's always been a smart guy who I've always liked his wit and sense of humor. Him and Eriksen, I think we're both like criminally underrated with their funniness and in interviews and stuff. They would come out and they were genuinely hilarious. Eriksen more so even. I think there must be something about like the Danish sense of humor that I just. But
they both played together at Ajax, so they knew each other's humor anyway.
Exactly, they had probably been doing inside jokes forever.
For a long time.
So. That's basically it. Klopp is still crying. He wants a replay. He won't get it. But I think by even saying this, I wish he could get fined for it. I can't really see him getting fined for it, to be honest. But I feel like he should. I feel like he's pulling the whole thing into. Is it disrepute? Is that the word they use?
Yeah, disrepute. Yeah, but he's not bringing the game into disrepute by saying, I think it should be replayed. It's just.
But I think he's. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, it's his opinion.
Yeah.
Is that he should be replayed. So he's not bringing the game into disrepute. If he turned around and started, absolutely, we've had the audio tape. In the audio tape, what is he doing? What has he done? What is this? What is that? He's stupid. He's sick. That's bringing the game into disrepute. But by saying, look, we've had the audio tapes come out, and I now believe firmly it should be replayed. That's not bringing the game into disrepute.
That's fair. I just feel like he's definitely trying to influence maybe future decisions with this. At least I think that they're trying to bully referees into making calls against Liverpool. I think they're looking for makeup calls in the future to kind of make up for this, and we see that happen in games, a bad call will go one way, and so the referee seemingly makes a bad call against the other team, kind of to even things out, so to speak. And I think that we'll see Liverpool getting some favorable calls in the future to sort of even this out. And again, perhaps I am wrong, but
I'm not sure whether you can do that because other people will be onto that straight away.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's not
point.
just Liverpool. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about this. If it had happened to us, we would be up in arms as well. Any team it happens to would be up in arms. So Liverpool just are up in arms. But the reason why people have taken it a bit worse that Liverpool are up in arms is because lots of things tend to go in Liverpool's favour. So, and 100 things happen in over the seasons. 99 go in Liverpool's favour, one doesn't, and Liverpool jump off their high horse like they've gone absolutely mad now. But yeah, if it happens to anybody would be the same.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. I just have a strong dislike for Liverpool. I think that is influenced
Really?
the way I feel. Yes, like I said, I cried a lot after that Champions League final. I had also been drinking quite a bit that day, drinking very heavily. But
June the 1st, 2019. I remember it's Saturday, June the 1st, 2019.
I had traveled 2.5 hours south to Nashville, Tennessee, to watch the match with Nashville Spurs. I spent a lot of time with those guys, good people, and I broke a glass and cried in front of all of these guys. So they've all seen it. They've seen me at my worst, but it's okay. I've been back since. All is forgiven. But yeah, what a terrible day that'll forever live in the minds and hearts of Spurs fans.
Yeah.
And like I said, we got screwed in that match. It's not like we don't ever get bad decisions against us. That handball. What a weird thing. Anyway, guys,
what handball? Because it wasn't a handball, but there we go.
Exactly. And like I said, the rule was changed like almost immediately after it happened to us. And it's not the first time. We also had the rule changed. First of all, what kind of tea you got there, buddy? I see you drinking some tea.
It's a latte.
Ooh, even better. Caffeine. You're a man of my own. I like you even more than I thought, Jose. You're a cool dude. So anyway, though, yeah, so that rule was changed shortly after. And then we had obviously the rule whenever Chelsea won the Champions League and got, into the Champions League at our expense. They quickly changed that rule the next year also. So it's like, let's let a bad decision go our way one time. It's not the end of the world. I know that he has to. I think Klopp also, in his defense, which I hate defending him, but I think he kind of has to say stuff like that for Liverpool fans also. It's what the fans want to hear. You know what I mean? I think that he's just kind of pandering to them a bit, which happens. It happens. Adrian Stroka is in the house, though. What's up, Adrian? And I cut you off.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only thing I will say is that we're at arm's length in this because we are not accusing anyone of anything at all. We haven't done any wrong to anyone at all. It was something that happened with the VAR officials. What we've done is we've amassed 5 wins and 2 draws, and it's off our own merit. The history books will show that we've won 5 games.
Oh no, I think Jose might have frozen on us. Jose will be right back. I'm going to remove him for just a second until he is unfrozen, as a good friend would do. But Jose will be right back. And I thought it sounded quiet in here, guys. Sorry, it is early in the morning for me. I need to... Let's pump up the volume a bit. But anyway, yes, Jose will be right back. He is having a little bit of internet issues, or perhaps I am. Let me know in the comments. Am I frozen? Am I freezing? Can you hear me? We'd love to know. Anyway, Jurgen Klopp, your tears are delicious. And it looks like we've got Jose back. Jose!
You froze there for a minute for me, but so did I. So
yeah, I'm not sure whose internet it is.
It must be me. It must be me.
No, hey, you're all good, buddy. I got some music going. I knew it sounded a little quiet behind us, so I got a little bit of music going to kind of help me get going this morning.
Yeah, I don't know where I got cut off, but what I was saying was that it's nothing to do with us. It's nothing to do with us. And the good thing is, and the history books will show that we've won 5 games so far this season, and we've drawn 2, They're off our own merits. So everything we've done has been off our own merits. So getting the 2-1 victory is because we got the 2-1 victory because we scored 2 goals, they scored 1. That gives us a 2-1 victory. So however you look at the history books will say we won the game 2-1. Anything other than that is superficial. It's to do with somebody else. And the history books are not going to say Tottenham 2, Liverpool 1. VAR, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to say that. It's just going to say that we won 2-1. End of story.
Yeah.
Liverpool fans, grow up, get on with it. The season's a long
They'll
one.
want an asterisk by that. You know what I mean? Though people really will want that to be noted that we, people are silly. People are silly. I had another funny thing I wanted to show just before we get off of this subject. This is oh, whoops, I got to get rid of one of I've got too many overlays. Okay, so here we go. We'll add this one. And this is just a meme that goes around, but I liked it in this context. So it shows it's of 2 girls fighting and a guy in the background doing illegal stuff. But it's got the PGMOL in Liverpool and then us just watching in the background, just and like you said, that we don't have anything to do with this. We're just the guy in the background smoking, so yeah, just thought that was funny.
An innocent bystander is what we were. We were an innocent bystander.
Exactly. All we did was play football and just blast across in at the last second, and Joel Matip, take it up with him, man.
We never told the linesman. We never told the referees to give yellow to give the offside goal or not offside. We didn't do nothing at all. So at the end of the day, it's not down to us. They need to grow up and get on with it. They know the rules. They know the rules. They know the rules for VAR. They know the rules for everything. And every team has to abide by the rules. However, it's something that's gone against them. I'm not going to deny it. It's gone against them.
We all heard the audio. The audio was kind of funny. Can I admit that? Like, even as a Spurs fan, like, it was kind of hilarious just to hear like the oh my god, oh no, and the one guy that just kept saying it's good. That's what I meant. Like, hilarious to me just to hear. But it's also kind of interesting. We don't really get, unless we do. That's the first time I had ever heard that type of audio. And it was really cool to hear like what goes on. And it sounds like there's way too many people involved for one thing. I heard too many voices. That just seems like a problem waiting to happen.
Over here we've got Sky Sports, and on Sky Sports they do a weekly show, or they've done them in the past where I've seen them, where they show contentious issues for VAR, and they then give you the audio of they give you the audio of why the decisions were made and how they came about making them. But that's not every week. But I've heard these audio decisions before. If you look at when you used to have games before, Champions League or league games, at the start of the game, they'd tell you the referee and the linesman who they are, and then they would point to who's at Stockley Park, and they would give you the names of the people at Stockley Park and show you a desk with loads of television cameras in front of you, and there'd be about 5 people sat across this desk. So you're quite right, Colin. You've not seen this, but you're quite right. There are too many chefs in the kitchen.
I was muted, but I completely agree. Yeah, I could just hear too many voices. So I used to work in TV. That's like what I did before my latest getting into cybersecurity. But I used to work like at sporting events and live TV. And obviously we weren't doing VAR things, but even just directing and there were just too many voices, too many people in there, and too many hands on all of that. Dragon Knees Nuts points out something that I think is a very good point. If it was the other way around, would Ange carry on like this? No, absolutely not. But we've also got a really cool manager who, is very no nonsense and would just get on with it. You know what I mean? I feel like, and would just move on to the next game. He might have said something, shortly after, but I don't think he would be carrying on like you said, like this. Dragon Knees Nuts. And I'm just gonna say your whole name every time instead of just calling you Dragon, because Dragon Knees Nuts is too good not to say. Audio Artisan asks, does the audio give you conspiracy vibes? To me, it just gives incompetence vibes, but I could be wrong. It does sound weird, but to me, it just sounds like some people made, a mistake was made and then tried to be covered up. And I swear the guy who made the mistake said changed and was like, no, you're right. We made the right call. We made the right call. I don't know. It was really, really funny. But I don't really get conspiracy vibes, but I'll re-listen. I love a good conspiracy. Like I said, I want to make a conspiracy channel. I love a good conspiracy. Anyway, gang, let me get this banner changed. We've got Luton at the weekend, Saturday, in fact, and it is an early match for me, I think. Let me see what time we play. So, but anyway, guys, we know from the Fulham match that if we make too many changes to our starting 11, our team crumbles and falls like a gingerbread house. And I just want to know how many subs is too many. How many changes to the starting 11 do you think is too many to make? Tough. It's a tough question because obviously we need to make some. Yeah, 6:30 a.m. for me. I can't wait. I love those early starts. Absolutely love them. Soren is here. Whoa, Soren. What's up, Soren? He says, big up, guys. We've also got Sunny's wife's here. Just saw you earlier, like 12 hours ago, Sunny's wife. Very nice to have you back again. You are a real one. We really appreciate having you here. Just to recap, we've been talking about Jurgen Klopp being salty about, the match, wanting a replay, but not going to get one. And we also threw this up here, which we thought was pretty funny. If I can find it quick. Jan Vertonghen, former Spurs player. Oh, and I don't have the banner anymore, but Jan Vertonghen said if we're going to replay that match, we might as well replay the Champions League final, and that he would be glad to play in it. Sonny's wife, oh my God, look at this.
I've seen it already.
Yes, love it. Love it. Love the passion. Absolutely. Agree 100%. Absolutely. 100% agree. Adrian Circus says, Klopp wants the game replayed. LOL. Do you replay the game with the same 10 versus the same 11 with the same substitutes introduced at exactly the same times? Exactly. They'll never get it, Adrian. We were saying that. Never going to happen. Spurs would have legal grounds to sue the Premier League for breaking their own rules if, in the very unlikely event, they sanctioned a replay. If they do, I will fall out of my chair. And I think Jose would too. We are really not expecting this to happen, but
too many legal ramifications, as I said earlier. There's too many legal ramifications, and then people would say this sets a precedent. We need to go back to previous games where errors have been made, which then means that you're going to replay the whole of them games, which then could have affected league positions, could have affected relegations, could have affected people
and money. Yeah, so
qualifying for competitions, and it would have affected points. The league tables will then look different. You can't do it. The only way that you can move forward with this is if the VAR or the Premier League were to change their rules going forward, but then you would need stakeholder agreement. So you need all the clubs to agree this prior to doing it.
But you're saying if an error like this happened, they could stop the match completely. In theory, if they made this change, they want to be able to stop the match completely after an obvious error like this, and then go back. Is that basically what you're saying that they could maybe do if they can do anything?
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking too. Adrian Stroka, wonder if Liverpool vote against the introduction of an automated VAR offside system used in the World Cup. That's a good question. I don't know, because we saw it worked well in the World Cup. I would love to see that introduced in the Premier League. I think that we'd have a lot. For what it was a lot faster. It seems like, and it's never fun to have to wait minutes to celebrate a goal. Spurs is in the house though. Big up call. Sorry, I called you Jose or Jose. Sorry, Jose and all. Let's forget about Klopp crying and look forward to the Luton game. 1-3, 3-1 Spurs. Agree. And look at this. We had planned. This is the last time on this channel we will be talking about the big teeth man, Jurgen Klopp himself. We are done. But yeah, so move on to the Luton match. We've seen, like I said, as Spurs fans, as evidenced by the cup game against Fulham, 9 changes is too many. Let's just put it that way. 9 changes is too many changes. Jose, in your opinion, how many can we get away with? How many can we get away with making? I just thought he was being really still, guys. Jose, I think you are frozen again. No worries. No worries. It's making this interesting. We'll bring it right back as soon as I see you moving around down there. But yeah, how many changes do we make for the Luton match? 3-1 Spurs. I love it. I love the optimism. I really hope that you're right. I love that you have Luton scoring. They've been pretty impotent in front of goal, but that isn't to say, you're right, that they can't sneak one past us. We don't exactly, I mean, we keep clean sheets, but not always. So yeah, okay. I think that's fair. Soren says swap Sonny and Madison. Those are the only two you would change. And who would you swap them for? Is my question. Jose, if you are watching this, man, I just saw you drop out of the back room. Please come back in if you can, if you got the time. If you're busy, no problem. Shoot me a WhatsApp or something to let me know. Would be great. But yeah, Soren, swap Sonny and Madison, bring in Richie. Who do you bring in for Madison, though, is my only question. I agree that you could easily bring in Richie. You could have your front three be, Solomon, Richie, and Kulu. But it's like, it's like who do we switch out for Madison is the only question. We don't really have a player that can do it. I think the closest thing we've got to a good number 10 in our team after Madison, believe it or not, I think is Bissouma, and I'll talk more about that in a second. I can't get anyone to agree with me, but I'm going to try to sway you guys' opinion maybe into believing that. Sonny's wife says that Klopp must first replay the Champions League finals. Sissoko's handball was also a misjudgment. 100%. You are on it. You're on the ball. Really, again, appreciate having you and your insight here. It is awesome. Thanks for being a part of the channel, Sonny's wife. And speaking of the channel, you guys, we are moving up in the world. We are at 278 subs, only 22 away from 300, the big 300. That is the next, goal, and then the goalpost will be moved. We'll probably go for 500 after that. And just to say, we've got a Patreon. I can't yet get super chats. I can't yet, have YouTube members. So I've created a Patreon for the channel. You see that below me, patreon.com/talkingball. And if you would like to go there, you can kind of help to support the channel, to sponsor the channel, if you will. Because of our two sponsors now, I've been able to get a new light. I've been able to get a Spurs flag at the background. Things are moving up. We are looking better here, folks. And I want to say it's because of the patrons, Chris Peters and Wayne Bonner. You guys give yourselves a round of applause. And thank you so much for doing what you do. Everybody, don't worry. If you cannot go and do that, don't worry about it at all. Just make sure you've liked and subscribed and throw a comment in and just kind of hang out with the gang. So Totspur says no changes if players are fit to start. Rotate out when we have control of the game. That is a good idea. And I kind of wondered in the Fulham match why we didn't do that. Like, it's fine to make subs, obviously, but if players can get any minutes in them, I would rather them start than throw players on after things already go to shit. That's just my opinion. I could see other people arguing the other direction. Totspur says, yeah, let's not underestimate Luton. As Jose pointed out the other day, they are a team that are better than the sum of their the sum. The sum is better than the parts. They are a good team. They fight for each other. They play for each other, and it's gonna be tough. They play with three central defenders. I think Sonny would be out of his depth in this game. I think they would just bully him completely off the ball. Kulu for Madison, yeah, that's definitely a good shout. I don't think Kulu is nearly as progressive with the ball, and I don't think he has the vision that Madison has. But I mean, Madison is also a very special player. We've seen that. Sonny and Madison both carrying knocks, and it looks like they've both, I think, been called up. We haven't seen. I think it comes out. Maybe it came out today. Does anybody know if Gareth Southgate released the lineups or the players that he's called up for the England national team? I know Sonny's been called up, of course, being that he is the captain. Being that he, really values playing for his country. It means a lot to him. So Sonny's been called up. Is Sonny carrying a knock? And if he is, and we know he is, why is he called up? Why is he going to go play in two friendlies that, no offense, Korea should be winning without him anyway? So that's kind of my question here. Do you guys think that we've seen other teams do it, just not let their players go on international duty? Do you think that's something that Spurs should do? Should we start getting a little more bullish about this? I mean, like, they're players under contract with our club, yet they're going on international duty to perhaps, get injured. We know that international teams, we see a lot of injuries, I guess, during international duty is what I'm saying. So yeah, just interested to know what you guys think there. And if you're watching this on repeat, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, and I'd like to have your answer in the comments if you don't mind. First of all, how many subs is too many subs? We don't want a repeat of the Fulham match. Second, should Madison and Sonny be going on international duty? Should they be playing? I know we talked about this yesterday. Madison has just gotten started, in the national team. He's not going to want to lose his spot. So if they ask him to go, we think he's going to go. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. NA Beer Talk says good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. Nice to have you here, buddy. Very nice to have you here. And I'll ask you the same question we've been asking everybody else. It's on repeat. I'll go watch that now. Wait, what's on repeat? Sorry. Are we talking about Solomon? Actually, at the moment, no, we are not talking about Solomon yet. Is there something to talk about Solomon? Now I have to Google this. What's up with Solomon? Is he injured? Oh, okay. So you're talking about, I think you're talking about how Shakhtar would like compensation for Solomon. Apparently 9 changes is too many. Yes, absolutely. 9 changes is too many. Solomon is out for 2 to 3 months. Get the fuck out of here. What? No, I gotta, hopefully Reddit knows, because that's where I get all of my information. Solomon injured in training, apparently out for 2 or 3 months. Jesus. What? We had always talked about how if injuries were to plague us, we would be in big trouble. I don't think we expected it in the forward positions, but we've got Brennan Johnson and Solomon now out. Let me throw this up there for everybody to see. Save in real quick. And I heard somebody jump in. It's Jose. What's up?
Hello.
I like you've got a different background, and I'm into it.
I've had to I've come off my laptop and I've had to go into my iMac.
Aha! You had to pull out the big guns. Well, I appreciate you being here and coming back, man. I didn't know if you would be back, but I'm super glad you are. But there's bad news that we just found out, my man. We just found out some bad news, and it has to do with Manor Solomon. Yes, sir. Literally just came out. I'm getting it up there. I'm getting the graphic up right now. But yeah, he's apparently been injured in training and is out for 2 to 3 months. So that is something I don't think any of us expected.
Can I just say, I feel sorry for the lad. I wish him all the best, and I wish him a speedy recovery. But one man's it gives somebody else an opportunity, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. You're 100% right. We had talked about if injuries really got to Tottenham this season, it could cause us a lot of trouble. I don't think we were expecting it in forward positions. That's not where we were really expecting the trouble. But with Perisic and now Solomon out, we are looking a little thin. I get you now, Soren. Thank you.
Sorry, before I got cut off, you asked about the Luton game.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And what I was saying before I got cut out, I was just saying merely that you don't make any changes, and these were my words. You don't make any changes because there's an international break coming up where the players are going to get 2 weeks, but you don't make any changes unless you've got enforced injuries. And now switch back on, you're telling me about Manor Solomon. To me, I told you what my comments were yesterday, Colin, about Luton having 3 games in a week when they play against us. Look at their lineup last night. They made 1 change from Saturday.
Yeah, I actually watched a bit of that match too. And I did see what you mean about them playing for each other and being, a better team than the individuals comprising it.
But by the time they play us on Saturday, they've already had 2 games within a 7-day period. This will be the 3rd game. Yesterday, I said to you that I had an idea in my head of what I thought the score would be, but it could change depending on what happened last night and what happens with injuries through the week. From what I saw last night, if they play with the same 10 players, let's say, then we should be fresher than them on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%.
But then they could be in a position where they have to make a whole lot of changes in order not to have players that tired to have 3 games in a week. So, and now losing Mr. Solomon, it then means that straight away you're looking at possibly Richie starting. Is Son fit enough? I'd said yesterday that I'd pick Son to play because South Korea have got 2 friendly matches.
Friendlies.
They haven't got any competitive matches. But again, I'll repeat this. My man Veliz, give him a chance. Give my man Veliz a chance. And then you've got my boy, my fellow Spaniard, Senor Gil, Brian Gil.
Exactly. Dragon These Nuts pointed that out. Brian Hill is back just in time, and yeah, 100%. We've all, I think, anybody who's watched him play and enjoys a tricky, pacey, winger, small little guys, I think has been drawn to Brian Hill. I sure have. He's got something special about him. He just plays like he's got kind of an old schoolness about his play. Stays out wide a lot. Isn't afraid to take on a defender. I really, really, really like watching him play. So, yeah, I mean, 100% agree that it could be his time to shine. Do you think that he'll work well in this Postecoglou system?
Hill, right. So Hill is not a speed master. Hill's a touch player. And Hill's tricky, but he's a touch player. Hill is a footballer. He's a pure out and out footballer. And at the end of the day, if it works for people like Pep Guardiola, if Pep Guardiola can have Bernardo Silva or David Silva in their team, right, and they're touch players the same way that Hill is, then if it works for them, then why shouldn't it work for us? I've seen many a good touch player in my time. You had Iniesta, Xavi. So the only common theme about all these players is that apart from one, they're all Spanish.
hey, well, thank you to the country of your origin for producing such wonderful footballers. But yeah, so
really sorry to hear about Solomon, because Solomon's career is just getting started. He's just learning the new club and that, and it's very sad to hear this. And I do wish him a speedy recovery. But
I want to see if I can get any info about what type of injury it was. I mean, 2 or 3 months sounds like a ligament injury or maybe a muscle tear. But yeah,
it's not an ACL. An ACL would have been season ending. So
yeah,
it's not. Yes, but it's something. 2 to 3 months, is that the time that you're going to be out and then you come into training, or are they saying 2 to 3 months would be the injury, the recuperation, and come back? So Beer Talk says it's a meniscus injury, so it's a knee injury.
Ooh, okay, meniscus. Gotcha.
Your mum says torn meniscus as well.
Hey, thanks for the info, Mom. Appreciate you. If you want to jump on, I can send you the link. But yeah,
when I had my meniscus, and this is. We don't get use of or I didn't get personal use of oxygen chambers and stuff like that. I didn't get all that, but when I had a torn meniscus, and I had a double knee operation, and one was from a meniscus, and the other one, I can't remember the name of the other one now. But when I had that, I was out for about 4.5 months. And I had loads of rehab to do, and I was out for about 4.5 months. But then it took probably a further 9 months on top of that till I felt comfortable going in full pelt.
Right, putting your weight on it, pivoting and changing positions. Yeah,
it took me a while.
Yeah, so I haven't had any like major knee injuries like that. But my first cousin, and we're pretty close in my family, so he's more like a brother. Tore his playing basketball. I'm in the Midwestern United States, so basketball is the thing around here. And he just went for like a direction change. He had his foot playing it and went to change directions real quick, and something happened. He didn't move correctly, and he tore his ACL, MCL, and meniscus like in one go.
Yeah, so I had an arthroscopy and a meniscectomy. So I was playing football, and I've been playing, felt a bit niggly on the pitch and that. But nothing much. The ball was at the other end of the pitch. I went running to go and support the play, and my leg just gave way. I collapsed, fell down. And when I tried to get back up, my leg had locked at an angle. It locked an angle, and they had to give me, I can't even remember the stuff. They had to give me some stuff in the hospital in order for them to straighten the leg out, to straighten it back out.
Yikes.
And then about 2 days later, they came out, and about 2 days later, just walking on it, it locked again. They took me straight into hospital and they operated. So,
what
good.
luck you have, my friend. Hopefully, Manor Solomon has better luck here. Yeah, right. Just when Shakhtar want to talk about Bunny for Solomon. Oh, well. Yeah, that's
True.
funny. That's funny.
That's another thing that I heard about yesterday as well, that Shakhtar is saying that they want money again.
They need to take that up with the Premier League, though, and not with us. Or not even the Premier League, but just like the governing body.
Whoever made the ruling is I think it's either UEFA or I think it's UEFA that made the ruling on that.
Yeah, take it up with them, not with us. We didn't have anything to do with it. We just took advantage of an opportunity, Soren though says to play Pierre in midfield, Kulu right, Richie down the middle, Davies on the left with you, dog. Davies left with you, doggy up left. I mean, that could work. You doggy could play a winger. That's definitely an idea. I think we'd be better off though. Wow, this does kind of mess things up. If Sonny's good to play. So now, yeah, who is the starting front three now? Is a question that I've got to ask. You know what I mean? That does kind of mess it. So with Solomon out and with Brennan Johnson out, who's our starting front three? If and I guess we were saying not to play Sonny if we can help it. Or I mean, I've been saying that. You've been saying if he's fit, play him. Against Luton, but. I think this kind of makes it to where we can't rest Sonny now. Like Sonny has to play this match against Luton.
If the guy the season's a long one, yeah. If it is true, or there is any truth at all, that Sonny is injured, playing with an injury, I would rest Sonny. Is what I'm saying. I would rest Sonny.
Play Belief
and play whoever it needs be. If he is injured, I would rather give him some time off to recuperate rather than use a player that's got niggles to make it worse for us, because the season's a long one. So for me, if Son can't play, then you start with another player.
Right. We've got this from Soren, and I wanted you to see this because I knew that you would have. He says it's too early for Belief to start. I mean. He's been playing football with the grown-ups, obviously not in a top European league, but I mean he's been doing it. So I mean I don't know. I mean maybe it's too early to start him. Maybe he doesn't know Ange ball quite yet. Maybe he's not caught up to speed with that. But I think as far as his skill level, I think he's ready. I think he could definitely do a job for us. Mom agrees. She says release, yes. For Luton, yes. That's what we're saying here, Ma. I think you're agreeing. She also agrees 100% that Sonny needs to heal properly for once. And yeah, that's
for
100%
me,
agreed.
If anyone heard what I said yesterday, I watched the Luton Everton game, and I said that Luton play with three pure centre backs as their back three, and they're quite chunky, big fellas. So they're 6 foot plus lads they've got playing there, and. Okay, Calvert-Lewin's an exception to the rule because he's brilliant in the air, but Calvert-Lewin was eating them for breakfast, dinner, lunch and dinner, and then they brought Beto on because they were chasing the game, and both of them were destroying the three centre-halves in the air, but they cross the ball, they get the ball in, and I was just saying, as an alternative, if we would to attempt getting crosses in through Porro or Doggy or whoever, then if you've got Richarlison playing on the left and Veliz down the middle, you've got two target men there who I believe would eat their centre-halves in the air as well. Although we're not an aerial team, we play football along the floor. However, regardless of that, if they've paid the 12 million for Veliz, it's because they've got belief that this player is not a player for the future, like we'll bring him in 2 years' time and that. They've got a belief that he'll start and he's in the first team squad. What's interesting, I said to Colin yesterday, was the night before, Tottenham's under-21s played Chelsea under-21s, Tottenham won 4-2. Hey. They're still unbeaten. Veliz and Phillips, who were involved at the weekend on the subs bench, did not feature for the under-21s on Monday night. So, therefore, I think with Ange Postecoglou, he's thinking that these players are ready because they're involved in the first team. They're not going back to the 21s at the moment. So, You know, at the end of the day, you pay the money for these players, bring them in, use them. Otherwise, what are you going to do?
Boom. Boom. And then someone's pointing out, Ange said that he wouldn't start for at least 6 months, but it wouldn't be the first time that Ange has said something and then kind of gone back on it. He's not quite the mind games master that Mourinho was, but he definitely, doesn't always stick to what he says in press conferences and stuff. So I think even though he said that, we might, and needs must sometimes. So, we might see him earlier than that just because of what's needed. Tosper says Cool on the left, Donnelly on the right, and if Son can't play, Richie as the 9, maybe. I don't know who Donnelly is. U21 player, I'm guessing, or U23, a younger player on the squad, but I truly don't know who he is. Do you know him very well?
Who's that? Donnelly. Donnelly's Donnelly's he's in the under 21s, and Donnelly has been
kind of a standout.
He's been assisting and scoring in near enough every game for the under 21s. I saw him the other day, and I must admit, he's quite a tall chap. He's a lot bigger than what I thought Donnelly was when I watched him the other night. He's a very good player. He's one of the up and coming stars in the under 21s. Iago Santiago has been lighting what's lighting the world alight as well in the under 21s, scoring and assisting. Then you've got Niall John has been playing well. So, but the under 21s are top of the league, and they're top of the league for a reason. And instead of mixing and matching the players, as been done in the past, we've actually got quite a settled under 21s unit there at the moment, and that's why they're doing so well. You've got Niall John in midfield who's been playing well. You've got Alfie Dorrington at centre half who's been playing well. The keeper, his name escapes me, he's been playing well. So yeah, we've got good players in the under 21s, and at the moment, yeah, we've got Ange Postecoglou as our manager. Ange Postecoglou likes giving youth a chance, and it's like we were saying about going out to buy players, Colin. We were saying if you keep going out to buy players, then you're not going to give these youth people a chance. So
right,
to make this decision, I believe that they've got a chance. The phone?
Yeah, I think the phone's ringing. Hello, Soren. What's up, buddy? You're in the back. Yeah, we'll get you on right away. Soren's here. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Yeah, Soren, thank you for the phone call. I didn't see you back there, so I appreciate you calling to let us know that you're ready to come on the show, buddy. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you two?
Doing good. Gotta ask what's on the menu today. What are you sampling?
Nothing. I've got to go out in a minute to pick up some more stock ready for this weekend. But yeah, the Ockentoshen went down very well.
Ockentoshen.
Yeah.
We did our pronunciations were terrible. So
we were way off.
Yeah. Oops. Hey, mom says Soren, glad to see you, bud. Boom, dude. We've got mom showing love. We've got a lot to talk about. This Solomon injury definitely is an issue.
Yeah.
It definitely is an issue. Oh, the phone's just ringing off the hook today. Hello? Adrian. Yeah, hold on, I'll get you right in. Adrian's here. Yes. What is up, my man?
I'm fine, just having a bit of laugh at all this brouhaha surrounding like Jurgen Klopp,
Yeah, he's
don't give up to the,
he's a donut for sure.
Oh, it's not going to happen, is it? So fans should be reassured there's not going to be no replay.
Yeah, exactly. Mom said it's still morning here, so just coffee for her. No whiskey for mom either, Soren. So it's not just you that can't partake right now. She says German donkey about Klopp. Yeah, exactly. He does kind of look like one. I never thought about that with the teeth. He's got lots of teeth. Anyway, that is never going to happen. You're right. We're not going to have to play a replay. But something else that has happened that has just come out, and I'm sure you've seen it, Adrian. We've been talking about it. The news of the Solomon injury, MCL injury. Meniscus injury.
This is his knee.
Yep, and he'll be out for 2 to 3 months. Both Soren and Adrian, I'd like to get you guys' opinion. And I guess I got to pick somebody to go first. Let's go, Adrian. Who do you think our front three are against Luton, especially after Solomon's injury? We know from the Fulham match we can't make too many changes to the starting 11, or else this team just doesn't work. Who would you start up front for the front three?
Providing up front, well, I mean, Richie will come into contention with Kulusevski definitely then, and Son. That'll be it if Son's fit. We don't know if he's carrying a knock still, but if he's only got a slight knock, play him. There's 16 days of that break. Other players then will get a chance to rest and recuperate. I don't give a damn about their international games. Right?
That's what this guy over here is
concerned about. Our squad. We've got a good start. I don't want it going wrong. So from a really selfish perspective, I understand why a lot of lower league team fans support England. Gives them a good second team to support. And there's probably are quite a few fanatical ones in the Premier League, but that might be from teams that don't traditionally do well in the Premier League. So, I mean, I can't speak for that. But, no, I don't like the international break anyway. I just don't like it. Whether it's good or bad, I do not like it. Because it'd be different if England over here won things and you had but we know what you're going to get. And Southgate ain't the most inspiring manager. He's done well.
How does he still have a job? I think that you guys could do so much better than Southgate. I think you could get a much more progressive manager who could get more out of these players. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but back to the three up front. Villiers will be on the bench, won't he? Donnelly will probably come in because he scored another 2 when we beat Chelsea. The under-21s beat Chelsea 4-2 the other day. Come back from 2-1 behind, actually. Santiago scored 1. Noel John, who's been out on loan, he scored 1. So that's 6 wins out of 6. Well, 8 out of 8 if you include the 2 wins in the EFL Trophy. So, yeah. But it does give some what them 16 days will do, depending on who's not on away on international duty. It gives Ange time to work at Hotspur Way with what's left, plus have a good look at our academy players. So he'll have plenty of players to work with. So, it gives him a lot of work. Yeah, up front. We need to know when he normally does a press conference on a Thursday afternoon and we get to know the injury status. I wouldn't rest Son. I don't give a damn about Korea. I'd play him even with a knock. I know he's played with a knock for the last couple of games. But he's done well. Although he wasn't so involved, although he scored that goal, didn't he, against Liverpool, which actually was similar to the one he scored at Anfield. That ball was crossed across the box from the left, wasn't it? And he put it in the net, wasn't it? So it was similar to that. So I wonder if they've got a bit of weakness down that side of Liverpool. Not that it matters now. Worry about that when we play them in May. It's a long way away.
That's going to be quite a match. Wow, there's going to be a lot of heat around that
Liverpool
match.
fans by May, they'll probably stop moaning about 2 days before the game about this one. You know what I mean? About the game.
And then they'll moan about something that happens in that one.
Oh, they'll find something else. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Soren, we've had you in the chat, and it's been awesome. You've been providing some good insight. What would you do though for our starting 3 against Luton? Normally, I think Solomon would have started on the left. So, what do you think this does to our starting front 3?
Yeah, it's becoming a bit worrying now, the injuries we're getting at the moment. But
I agree. I'm just glad they're in attack and not defense.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing I'm sort of going on is when Sonny came off the other day, he looked as though he was in pain. So it depends on the extent of that injury. Now, I agree with Adrian. I'm not bothered about internationals. I don't care. But I'm kind of more thinking if he has got an injury, yes, he's maybe going to go abroad, same as Maddison, and play. But this is a game where we can rest these type of players if they are carrying a bit of a niggle. So personally, I would. It all depends who's fit. I mean, if Brian Hill's fit, then you bring him in. But otherwise, I'd play Richie up front, Kulo on the right. I'd bring in, depending how bad Maddison, if he can play, he plays. But I'd maybe bring in Pierre into midfield. And like I said earlier, push Udogie up front. Put him on the wing.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout at all. He can definitely do it.
Or the other way around if we have to. But to me, I think we maybe just swap it round. Let Richie start and then bring Son on if we need him. Because you just don't want to be, if we are starting to struggle with injuries and it all seems to be around the knees and legs, and again, Sonny seems to be that sort of area.
Hamstring, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't risk him, to me.
What wouldn't be too left field, actually, if Emerson Roll played and you push Porro up on the wing?
Yeah,
you could switch. He's got lots of options, Soren, hasn't he? I mean, because we got a pretty versatile squad. Everyone's been crying for Porro to get a chance on the right wing. Well, Kulu could play on the left. He could play as a 10, but I think it means it guarantees that if Son's carrying a knock, like I say, it all depends how it is. I mean, I would play him, but if not, I mean, you're going to go with a regular 3, aren't you? Because Brennan Johnson's not quite fit. He's still got that slight, so he's probably back for the next game. I mean, our next 3 games are what we've got: Luton, Fulham, Palace, and Chelsea. It's 3 London derbies, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be nice if Bazuma got his yellow card in one of the next 2 games, so he can have the games banned and then be fit for Chelsea, because we want him for Chelsea.
We want it for Chelsea.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We might tell him to go out there and get the yellow card. I mean, I don't know.
I think players know, don't they? They know when it gets into cup competition finals, they're going to miss the final. They'll take a booking earlier on, so if they missed the semi. They missed the semi-final. They're available for the final. Yeah,
see, that's a good point, because I mean, if we do play Richie up front, for argument's sake, we want crosses coming in. So maybe you do play Porro on the right and Kulu on the left. And just swap it up a little bit. But I also think Udogie could probably put a couple of passes in. There's options, and this is the one game in a sense that we don't want to. Obviously, we don't want them.
Jose, you watched the Everton Luton game? Did you watch any other Luton games?
I did. Yeah.
You said Everton were all over them, yeah?
Everton. Right, they play with 3 centre halves, Luton, and they're big lads. They're big. They're over 6 foot, all 3, but they play at the back. So they play with 3 centre backs. But the system that we played for the last 4 years is what they play. Calvert-Lewin was murdering any one of the 3 went up against. He was murdering them in the air. But then Everton do cross the ball in, and when they were 2-1 down and chasing the game, they brought Beto on their new player, and Beto played on the left-hand side of a 3, but when the crosses were coming in from the right, Beto was murdering the defenders as well, and it was goalkeeper saves, going over the bar, going past the post. They had chance after chance after chance in the air. They absolutely murdered them. But we haven't had players in our team at the moment that have put crosses up in the air into the box. If we get to the line, we do the angle game is putting it across the 6-yard box low. We don't do high ball. And I was just saying, if we did want to change up and go high ball, we've got 2 potential strikers there in Richie and Veliz that are units that could probably get some change out of their centre halves.
Yeah, but are their defenders good on the ground? Would they hack like our players running at them?
From what I saw last night, more than the Everton game, from the bits that I saw last night, you can play through Luton playing football, because I think Burnley did that last night as well. And no disrespect to Burnley, Adrian, we've got better technical players. They were beating Luton's press from the back.
Oh yeah, easily.
And our players can play the press game better than I believe than what Burnley can. So there's no reason. Up until last night, Adrian, I had said yesterday to Colin, I thought Tottenham would win 3-0 Saturday, but it all depended on Luton playing last night, because I needed to see what their lineup was. And their lineup last night, they played 1 player different to what they played on Saturday against Everton. So that means these 2 players their team within a 48 to 72 hour period, 10 of their players have played 2 matches. Now, on Saturday, either they make majority changes, which then you'd think, weaken their team, right? Or are they going to go with the majority of the players that have already played 2 games? Because if they do that, then that plays in our favour, Adrian.
Yeah, see, when I go through all these permutations of who we could play in midfield, because you could push Basuma up into the 10 role if Madison's not fit. You could leave
Basuma would be so good in the 10 role. Thank you. Sorry to cut you off, but no one else agrees with me with that, Adrian. So thank you.
I'd rather. But having said that, Colin, I'd rather Kulusevski coming as a number 10.
Really?
He's got a lovely through ball through for Kane in the 5-1 winner against Shakhtar Donetsk at home, and I think it was Kane's fourth goal, whatever it was, wasn't it? Before Scarlett scored the fifth or something. But I'd rather see Decky given a go in a number 10 role, because you don't have to stick with it all game. And if things don't work, you can say, right, Decky, go back out to the right again. You know, I want to see him in that 10 role. The reason I want to see him there, he's so strong on the ball and holds the ball up so well, you know, and he can even receive the ball with back to goal. He's so good at ball retention. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in there. But it's very hard to pick a side when we don't know the full state of the injuries. We're all sort of surmising and speculating. I mean, you would say at present, you'd say it'd be Son, Kulusevski, and Decky as the front three. But like, there's a case for Velez, and there's a case for switching things around a bit. There's a case for pushing Porro up front, because then you can give Emerson Royal a game, and he hasn't had a game. So Ange might be thinking, it's Luton. I'll bring Emerson Royal in at the back, and we'll push Porro up front. We'll push him up. Now, I don't know if Porro can play on the right, on the left, rather. Pretty sure Decky can, because he's left-footed. But just means you have to cut in on his right foot, wouldn't it? You know,
because at the end of the day, I'm with everybody else. I said yesterday that I don't care about the international breaks. The players get paid by their clubs. So you're an employee of Tottenham Hotspur. You're not an employee of England, South Korea, whoever. And looking at the matches that England have got, England play next Friday against Australia in a friendly, and then they've got the following Tuesday, which was 2 weeks yesterday. They then play Italy at home. South Korea have got 2 friendly matches. One against Vietnam and one against Tunisia. On the same days that England play, South Korea play. Does Sonny, Karen and Knock need to play for South Korea in 2 meaningless friendlies?
I think the thing is there, Jose, though, it's not necessarily does he need to play. I don't think you're going to stop him wanting to play. And you look at, I mean, I think when you look at those teams, you know, and Sonny, it's a different situation to how a lot of us fans feel about England these days. You know, they love their national team, and Sonny is so proud to be in that team and, you know, leading it and things like that. You know, if he's fit enough to play, he'll play. That's the problem. Unless the club turn around and say, you're not going, which I don't think they will, because I think that would create a little bit of division between him and the club, then the only thing you can ask, you know, is you say, look, you can go, but you only play 45 minutes or whatever, or something like that. But whether that'll happen, I don't know. That's the problem.
This is the guy that played with a broken arm for us. That you know, he
you know, I mean, the guy just wants to play football, and how do you stop somebody like that? You know, unless you physically say, not physically, but unless you actually say to him, you're not going. And I think if you do that, you're going to get a situation like we had with Romero and Lo Celso, where they just basically go. You know, it's.
But if you do that as a club, you take action against someone because they're breaking the contract, or they're breaking something they do.
Well, yeah, you are. But I think the thing is, it's kind of like a gentleman's agreement almost, isn't it? That if you get called up for your national team, then you do have the right to go.
Yes.
You know, I think. If your clubs start turning around and saying, well, you can't go, then what happens, you know, when they say, well, what about him and what about him and what about... And where
But sorry,
if you get sanctioned by FIFA if you refuse to let players go that are called up.
But if your medical team turn around and speak to the international side and say, because lots of clubs have done it.
Oh, yeah,
They say
bigger clubs than us.
They're carrying a knock, and it'd be advisable, because they're under contract to us, for them not to go. Clubs have done that. Clubs have pulled their players out before for that. They don't do it willy-nilly, because you've got to prove the injury as well.
The thing is, though, both, it looks like Sonny and Maddison, for argument's sake, if they're the two we're talking about, yes, they're carrying niggling injuries, but we're still playing them. So how can we turn around and say you can't play for your national team, but we're going to play you? That's the problem. And if they're named on the subs bench,
Yeah.
then unless we don't name them in the squad, I don't think we've got a leg to stand on by pulling them unless they get injured in that match.
I was talking more about Sonny because everyone's saying that Sonny's been carrying a knock.
Well,
more than Maddison. I was talking Sonny more than Maddison.
I mean, he does look. If you look at it when he got brought off and he sits down on the bench, there's a clip going around where he looks in pain. He does look in pain, and the problem is you're gonna keep playing him. We're gonna keep playing him because he's the informed striker at the moment, and this is why, to me, this is the perfect opportunity to let Richie have a go. Same as you were saying, Jose, because he's so strong in the air. That's his strongest bit, that if we can get some crosses into him, then you kind of look at it and think it's the perfect get. I mean, it's a shame Perisic in here to put them crosses in for him, but
no kidding. Absolutely.
Maybe Porro can put them crosses in, and like we say, either play Kulo on the left or and push Porro up to the right, or you bring Kulo on the left, let them keep interchanging, and we change the left-hand side. We're in a position where it's perfect to do it. But I also think, again, if Maddison's got that knock, you bring Pierre in and let's just have a strong midfield for defending. Put Pierre more of a holding midfielder and let Bissouma have that free role.
How far is Bentancur? Because Bentancur's back on the training.
He's not training properly yet, is he?
No, you got by the time this breaks over, I think it's about the 24th or something. 16 days after Saturday. Saturday was the day, the 4th.
21st it is. We play on the 7th, and then the 21st is our next game.
I don't think you'll see Bentancur till at least December.
14, yeah, it'll be the 21st when I think about a week after the international break, you'll find that Gil, Sessegnon, and even Lo Celso will be fit. See if Ange can get a tune out of one or more of them. We're all right through to January in the transfer window. Then we have to see because. Sorry, go on, Soren.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say now is the perfect time for Lo Celso, but he's bloody injured. He'd be the perfect player to come in and give Maddison that break. But this is the problem we've got. We haven't got the backup for the most important positions, centre back, that creative mid. And I mean, we've all said Kulu could come in, but to me, I'd kind of rather see Kulu on the wing.
I think that Bissouma could be a definite number 10 for at least in the short term. He's just got the range of passing on him. It's so similar to the position that he's playing now. Just a little further up the pitch, a little less defensive responsibility. I mean, I think that he could definitely do it.
Colin's gem. Colin called that 3 months ago.
I've been saying it. I'm glad somebody agrees. Just glad anybody agrees.
And it's going to be interest coming round to January in the transfer window because the recruitment team have got to take in consideration when we get round there. If we're affected by injuries, it'll affect who we recruit in January, obviously, It will. And we'll probably only get about 2 in. They should have a long list. Ange will have a list. I know Ange wanted Tapsoba. I know if we had a choice of centre-backs, I'd like to get Tapsoba or Bremer. Bremer for us because he had the best stats, I think, last year in Italy. And not only that, he's older and he brings a bit of experience to that back line as well. So I'd love them. Other than that, you're looking at the more likely one is Adel Rabiot because he's going to be on a free and not cost much money because he's open to clubs in January. But on the other hand, if you could get Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth, who's played as captain there and all that, Lloyd Kelly's a left centre-back, but he can also play at left-back.
Well, this January will tell us a lot about how we feel about the players we've currently got. Like if we go in and we grab defenders, then it'll show that we don't trust Ashley Phillips, that we don't trust Dorrington.
I don't believe the rumours in Victor Nelson's Galatasaray because if we wanted to get him, we could have got him like that in the last window. So I just think that's all these clubs in Europe. They're desperate to sell players to get some money in. That's what they are. That's what it is.
The problem is, though, Adrian, who do you bring in? Because we're not going to bring another starter in because if you bring another starter in, one of them 3 are sitting on the bench and one of those 3 ain't going to be happy if it's a starter. So you can't bring another kid in because we've kind of already got the kids ready for the future. So you bring an older player in. Well, that kind of takes out Tapsoba, it takes out Poi Kelly, it takes out Bremer. And, it's then...
I think we need to start thinking a bit differently when it comes to that. We had all these debates over Kane. Oh, no one wants to come in because there'll be backup. I hate the term backup because we're Tottenham Hotspur, 10th richest club in the world. We should have a quality bench. We shouldn't even be using the word backup. But my counter argument to that, Soren, is just that if you've got 3 centre-backs and Ashley Phillips is the 4th choice, you've got a minimum each season of 40 games a season. You bring a player and you've got to be out in current and say, look, if you can do a job and we think you're as good as what we've got, you're as good as the quality we've got, but we can guarantee you 20 games a season. If you had 4 centre-backs, you could carry all 4 of them 20 games a season, unless they're out of form or suspended or injured, So I think we should, because what we need is, when we look at our bench, the players we brought on against Liverpool, we could have done a better quality. Come on, right? Look at Liverpool when they brought their players on, different ball game. Their players were a lot better quality than what we've got.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Adrian, I agree with exactly what you're saying, but I just don't see us going to buy another starting centre-back until maybe next summer when Dyer has gone and we've seen Ashley Phillips. But, to me, if we've bought Ash Phillips, and I know, it's maybe too early to tell because he hasn't really played, but I would be using Ash Phillips and bringing somebody who's got a bit of experience, and as for a season or 2 seasons, just for that backup, just to give us enough time to bring out the youngsters. And to me, you're kind of then looking at we're probably going to need somebody else up front because let's not beat about the bush. Sonny's getting on. Richie might not be the starter. Villiers is still a young lad. So Lo Celso's probably going to go either January or summer. So I think it's another centre mid, probably a striker coming up. But I do think we'll go for a defender. But I don't think it's going to be a big name like everybody's hoping.
And I think if Adebayo, if he's not going to Monaco, which he could sign.
Yeah, but he's not going to come up. He's not going to want to come to us and sit on a bench.
How old is Adebayo? I'm checking.
He's young.
But anyway, I'm going to have to go because I've got to go pick up a consignment of whiskey.
Yeah. Hey, we'll have fun doing that. Let us know how that goes. We'll see you next time, man. It's been great.
All right, then.
Thank you.
See you, bub. Bye-bye. It's always good. Always good having Soren. I just looked it up. Hold on. I just Googled it. Adebayo. Oh, man. I got the wrong guy. Fulham.
That's always a good start.
There's a basketball player with the same name. He was born. Geez, this is harder to find than it should be. Yeah, no, I can't find it. I'll give you guys. I'll let you guys know. I can't spell Adebayo. It's embarrassing, but. NA Beer Talk says, "Hey, Beth." She says, "Hi." My mom says I need to be better at Danny Rosing things.
I mean, they've got other players listed now, this recruitment team, because you're going to get around to January. You've got a month. It's not, and teams there.
26 years old.
26.
26 years old.
Right. And teams are not going to part with their best players if they're involved in cup competitions or in fear of relegation and all that. So you need to have these. So you cannot play over the top unless you go for someone who's under the radar. So hopefully Andrew's got his list. We know ideally he'd like Tap Sober. I think Tap Sober is his main choice. I mean, like, he can ping a ball out from the back, Tap Sober as well, like Alderweireld used to do. He's quick as well. And so, I mean, like, I would take Tap Sober or Bramer in a pinch. I'd take them. But if it's Adebayo or Lloyd Kelly, who can double up as a left back, that might be it. But then, where are Bournemouth going to be in the league come January? They're not doing great, and I just can't see them parting with him in January. Yeah. This is the issue. You've got to look for players that you've scouted out. You've done the analytics on. You've looked at all the analysis that's been done on them, the analytics. You've checked them out. Then you send your scouts to go and watch them because you need to do the eye test as well. And I would have thought that Ange, look, he always wanted Van der Ven when he was at Celtic, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So you can bet your life he had his eyes. He might throw us a curveball. We might get someone from Asia or Japan. You never know. Down that in the Southern Hemisphere, we might get someone like that.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be easy.
But what I was saying yesterday, right, is by all intents and purposes, it appears Tottenham as a football club is going in the right direction in many, many aspects. We got the whole news last week about what they're doing, training academy and stuff like that. So we now think that we're going down the right route. Now, if that's the right route, any club going down the right route would have a list of players that they're looking to sign next summer, right? A bit like Liverpool when they got Diaz. Diaz was a summer signing for them. They had him earmarked for the summer. We bid for him in the winter window, and then because we bid for him, Liverpool were then alerted that we'd met the requirement or whatever the asking price was. Do Liverpool want to make a big counter bid now? Otherwise, he's coming to Tottenham. So Liverpool counter bid it. So hopefully we have a list, and if we've got a list for next summer, right? These are players that we're interested in looking at. If some of them become available in winter, or if you have a need for players in the winter window, you try to trigger, because you've already would have spoken to, like you said, Adrian, before. You would have alerted their agents already, even if it's for next summer. You'd alert them that you're looking at them and that, wouldn't you? So therefore, the conversations need to have. And it all depends on what Angie's belief is we need for the second half of the season, what we're going to need. And it also depends as well for me is where are we? Where are we come the winter transfer window? Where are we in the league? What are our ambitions? What do we want to do in the FA Cup? It all depends on a lot of variables on actually what we end up doing in the winter.
We should still be looking for quality if we can get it in a winter window. I mean, Bremer cost 34 million, 40 million euros to Juventus. They've got enough defenders. I think they would sell. I think they need the money. Juve are skint. They need the money. I think the Italian market is a good market to look for players. They're renowned of having good defenders anyway. I think it's a good market to look. And I think it's a good chance of getting someone from that league in a January transfer window than other leagues, So a striker's going all that. I mean, the word out for Ali Gold and all that. Spurs are not interested in bringing in a striker in. I think they know that Ange wants a centre-back. That is his first priority, is a centre-back. So Phillips will get game time. I mean, when we're winning, we will be in games when we'll have games won with 3-0 up with half hour to go or whatever. Phillips will get game time. He'll be bloodied gently, probably, or maybe not if we get a bad injury. But so like he'll get game time anyway, and so would a new centre back.
I don't disagree with you, but I do think we'll see more of Ashley Phillips than I think you're anticipating. But that's just my guess. I don't know anything about anything. It just seems like he could have gone anywhere, and I think he was probably promised some things coming to Spurs, maybe some playing time. Who knows? But we
won't be getting rid of a midfielder like Højbjerg unless we've got someone ready to come in. The deal can be ready to sign while Spurs are looking for the next thing and are saying, well, look, okay, we'll do the deal, but we've got to have a guaranteed replacement coming in, unless you're going to, unless you're going to use an academy midfielder.
Exactly.
And this is where I'm going back to what I said about we believe that all roads are leading to the right path of what we're doing as a club now. And if that's the case, then I'd like to think that we're on top. We have got a shopping list that we would like, that Ange has provided that we would like. And if we've got that, I believe that tapping up is starting already. You're starting to get the feelers out of who wants to come to you and who doesn't. And depending on where we are, and it really does, it depends on where we are and what Ange thinks his needs are on if we press buttons in the winter transfer window. So,
and I just saw that Jacob from America was in the chat.
Come on, Jacob. Come on, get him on.
I was going to say, you can definitely come on. He's probably busy doing family stuff, but I just wanted his opinion. Jacob, so we're talking about
making pancakes again.
Exactly. Almost definitely doing something like that. So we've got this little banner down here. So do we get new defenders in January, or do we trust in what we've got?
Want to send him the link?
Send him the link.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'll just throw it out there again for anybody in the whole world. Jacob, even just on your phone, bud, just anything, man. We'd love to say hi. But NA Beer Talk brings up a good point and says we shouldn't avoid signing top talent in positions where we are thin just because we are worried about the current players' feelings.
True.
And I don't think we're worried about their feelings. I think that we're just worried about stagnating their growth as players, perhaps. But I understand what you're saying. And he also says this: they're professionals. They've been competing against other players their entire lives.
Yeah,
so
it's
bringing
true.
in another defender doesn't automatically mean that they're not going to start or that they won't play. They could impress in training. We could buy some, ultra expensive defender and still have, our guys, Ashley Phillips, Storrington. We could have them, outperform them in training and get the start. I mean, anything's possible. Really, anything's possible.
We could get lucky. I mean, traditionally, the January transfer window's been good to us at the time. And we got Dele Alli in, and we got Lucas Moura in. We got Bentancur and Kulusevski in, didn't we?
Pedro Porro last year.
We got Porro in. Did we get Romero in on a January?
No.
Well, that's 5. And they all served us well, whether they're with us or not now. They all served us well. So
is that Kira or Kiba?
You need to look at
Kaiba, yeah.
You go and look to a team like Juventus who've got a big squad in Italy, or those that have got big squads that are skint, and you can sniff around their squads and see what you think's available. I know that Juventus would love to sell. A lot of the Italian clubs would love to sell. They're skint. They need money.
So NA Beer Talk brings up a good point. He said Royale heard footsteps, so he trained hard during the summer and improved. Very good point. We do need competition everywhere. And I'm not disagreeing with that. I just think that we brought in Ash Phillips for a reason. We waited until, I don't know, he wanted to come to us, and I don't feel like he would have wanted to come to us to not play if we hadn't given him some assurances on playing time. But that I could be completely wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things. I'm wrong about things every day. But guys, just real quick, wanted to say we've got 8 people in the chat. What is up to all 8 of you guys? Really appreciate having you here. You could be anywhere, but you're here with us talking Tottenham Hotspur on Talking Ball. And thanks again, you guys, for being here. We truly appreciate you. We are 22 subscribers away from the big 300. So if you could make sure to subscribe. If you haven't, tell your friends. Tell anybody you know that likes Spurs. Pass this along to them because, like I said, only 22 away from 300. Like the movie, like this is Sparta 300. We're on our way there. Dog just shouted that he wanted to be on the show too. You heard her. You heard Sonny's wife. Get Kaiba on the show. He wants on. We need to get Kaiba's. Point of view on things. But no.
Do you know that I've been muted up until now because he hasn't stopped barking. And now that you said that, he's just stopped.
See, maybe he's shy. Maybe he doesn't want to be on the show. What's he barking at? You got a burglar there? Is there a criminal?
No, I think the kids are all walking around the house and that, and they're probably playing with the kids at the moment. And one of my daughters just let them out in the garden, so they've both gone hurtling out in the garden. So.
Oh man, I bet they're having a blast. Being a dog would be great if you had good owners, and he seemed like one. So yeah, would love to be a dog at your house. I bet they're having a good life. So dog is a keyboard warrior, all bark until we demand the face behind the bark. Love it, Jacob. Love it. Yes. But NA Beer Talk brings in another good point. Barca's playing a 16-year-old. Age doesn't matter. Either you can compete or you can't.
Barcelona play with about 5 players of 20 or under in their first team.
Yeah.
They are
needed to, didn't they?
They are the exception to the whole rule.
They needed to, though, didn't they? Because they had to go to their fans, which is the right coward's way, because no president of Barcelona wants to be the president that didn't bring players in and didn't win stuff. And they've had to tighten their belt because of their debt, didn't they? And they sold off part of their TV rights, and they even sold off part of their merchandising rights, and they had to get the fans to agree at a meeting. This is all because they've been. It's coming back. That's why Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus were 3 of the main protagonists that wanted the European Super League, because all the clubs were going to get. They were all going to get a reported. Every team in that Super League was going to get a reported 300 million. That's why Levy wanted it and was tempted by it. Because we've got the biggest debt, but our debt is sustainable. We can finance it better. But these clubs the 2 big clubs in Spain and Juve, the biggest. it's not sustainable what they've been doing over the years. You just can't go out and spend. It's not like spending £100 million on a player and then giving them 500 grand a week. I mean, like it's not sustainable. They don't generate the money, even though Barcelona, Madrid, unlike here, their TV revenue, it isn't spread out the way we spread it in the Premier League. Them two get the biggest chunk of that TV money. That's why they've been able to dominate all these years. You know what I mean? Because they've got more money than everyone else. You know. So
Real Madrid have got a young team, but they've had to assemble and pay for that team. Barca have done it totally differently. They've come through their academies, through La Masia. But Real Madrid have got Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Tchouameni, Bellingham, Camavinga. The list just goes on of all the youngsters they've got, but they've had to pay $1 for them. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Adrian. I'm just saying, if we got youngsters, but we've got a manager who believes in you, and we've got youngsters, and if they're good enough, Ange will give them a chance. He's different to other managers. If they're good enough, he'll give them a chance.
Yeah, they look 100%. Good. You know, they look like about 2 seasons before they're really ready. You know, that's the thing. I mean, like they do look good. You never know. You might have one or two precocious talents under there that you can play. I mean, I remember watching Otto and Perriman play at Spurs at 16 and 17 years of age. You know, so you know, Owen played at a very young age. Alan Ball did. And going back now, you know, there's quite a few players that played at a very young age, and when it was more of a kicking league as well. So you had to be able to look after yourself because you could have lumps kicked off you back in those days.
Yeah, but you've got to have a manager who's prepared to back you and give you that chance. And what I'm saying is that with Postecoglou, we've got that. We've got that. The players have got that. If you're good enough, then you'll be given a chance. Ferguson took a punt back in '92 with his boys. Do you know what I mean? And he gave them a chance. There's not many managers that do that. But we just happen to have a manager now that will give youth an opportunity. If you're good enough, he will give you that opportunity. That's what I'm saying. We've got the opportunity there. We've got someone who will do it.
Do you guys think that the players should stay with Spurs and train with us, or do you think a loan would be more beneficial to them? These youngins that you say are 2 seasons-ish away from starting in the team. Do you think that they need to go on loan, or do they need to stay here and learn the Ange way?
Well, the reason they aren't on loan is because they are young. They're not like under 21s. They're 20. They're not. They're 17, 18-year-olds. They won 2 cups last year. Mikey Moore played in both those finals, young Mikey Moore. And he only turned 16 in the summer. And he was training and they had him training with a full squad. The first team squad, they had Mikey Moore training, right? So he's so highly rated. But, you know, you look at Santiago, you look at Lancashire, you look at Donnelly, who's sat on the bench, who scored 2 goals during a week, you know. And we've got players out on loan. Parrott's out on loan. Dwayne Scarlett's out on loan. And then you'll get an under-21 player. And I watched a few under-21 games at the stadium. Not many. But you'll have someone like, who was there, Dylan Marcandy. He'd never been out on loan, but wasn't happy with his progress. Unfortunately, he got a move to Blackburn. And unfortunately, he got bad ligament injury or something. And he's out. Felt sorry for the kid. But he's one of those players I thought, you're trying to run before you're too impatient. You do get young players that are impatient. They want the money and the glory, and they want to be in the first team and all that. They're not ready, but they think they're ready. Some might be just total big heads. You never know, right? But I mean, like, so he's gone off. He'd never been out on a loan to experience it. And prior to them changing the structure of the academy football this year, which is now there's 2 leagues to make it more competitive, because it lacked competitiveness. It's what it lacked. You know, and I think in the EFL Trophy, I'm not. People can correct me on this. I think they structured it so when the teams are drawn in groups, you might play academy teams in your group, but you'll play a team from the Division 2 in your group. And I think if you progress through those groups, you'll play championship sides, right? So now you're playing against harder and harder opposition. If I'm mistaken, someone will have to correct me on that. But that's my.
And in that cup that they play at the moment is for Division 1,
Trophy, yeah.
for Division 1, Division 2, and academy sides. Championship teams don't enter that competition.
Oh right, okay, all right.
But,
Division 1, Division 2.
They could be drawn, depending on what group you get drawn in. You get drawn in North and South, don't you? Split between the North and the South. in the group stages, and in your group you could have there'll always be one academy team maximum in a group, and out of the other 3 teams, it can be any combination of League 2 or League 1. Depends what the draw has come out like.
Interesting. I just learned something.
Once you qualify from that, I think it becomes like a knockout basis type thing. Once you qualify out the groups and whatever. But going back to, I was going to go back to something you just said there. Right, going back to the loans, because Colin had asked the question. I think with Tottenham, by the time it came towards the end of the transfer window and you've got to make your decisions, Tottenham thought to themselves the best course of action for Parrott, Divine and Scarlett was to give them a loan. But with players like Veliz and Phillips, it was decided it was better to keep them at the club. Now, however long they were going to be put into the under-21s, I don't know, because I don't know what the plan was. But they've come out of the under-21s and they're now firmly part of the first team.
Right, well, you've seen Veliz play, haven't you?
Yeah, prior to coming to Tottenham, yeah, I've seen him playing.
I watched him in the academy game and I thought he missed two good chances where he could have kept it. But apparently, word out the academy is they can tell he's played in the Argentinian league because he just looks that much better in I suppose in training or whatever. And you can see a lot in a player in training and things like that, you know. So
his movement probably give it away.
He's just more up to speed. So looks like with Ange, looks like he'll get game time probably around the January era and all that, or even before that as a sub. But I think they'll be brought on like with. He normally makes his subs on the 60-minute mark, Ange, doesn't he, on average, or just.
Don't be surprised, Adrian, if he makes an appearance this week against Luton.
He might not.
I hope you're right. I would love to see it.
People laugh at me.
Even when I'm keen for a player to play in the team who's young or upcoming and come from or a new signing, I'm always thinking of like there's a psychological process as well, apart from the player being good, and that is like how it affects the rest on the squad. If you played Veliz now instead of Richarlison, how's he going to feel? He scored 1 goal. All right. He's still got to impress us, Richarlison. But he needs to impress.
Richie on the left, Veliz down the middle. Give Sonny that.
He might do that. I mean, if Luton, I think it's an away game. I think if it helps the blood players at home, but it's an away game. So I think if Son's fit, he plays because he's got a chance of getting more room. And he'll play through the middle. But if it turns out like Brentford, I could see like if Richie's on the pitch, I could see him switching and Richie moving back into the middle to muscle it a bit in there and Son coming out. Richie would definitely go in the middle for free kicks, corners and stuff like that, set pieces. So we don't know, do we? We need to know how fit the squad is and what. But
if they're playing with 3 center backs, I think Son will get eaten alive. I don't know if that's just me, but if they're playing a team that has 3 center backs, 3 strong center backs, we know Son doesn't do super well. We're talking Luton here. We know Son doesn't do super well whenever he's tightly marked, especially with bigger guys against him. I don't know. I don't know how he would do. I think that maybe, honestly, maybe Richarlison might be better.
What Kulu does, this is why I think Ange likes his 2 wingers, and he likes them to hug the byline. Because when Kulu's down there, he always draws. 9 times out of 10, he draws 2 players,
2 defenders, yeah,
2 to him. So like that helps. Sometimes 3. If he can beat that press, you're going to be drawing the wing back over and one of the centre backs. That leaves 2 in the middle, right? And that's what
I don't know, but I think Colin feels that I'm a clairvoyant because last week I turned around on the shows last week. And I don't know.
All week you were saying it. All week.
I said last week, Adrian, Veliz will get time with Tottenham. It won't be January. He's going to get time fairly soon, Veliz. People kind of laughed in the comments when I said it last week. And I also said Liverpool are going to get at least a red card against us because of the way that we play all that.
Look what happened.
I said this last week, and then all of a sudden, after Saturday's game, they had 2 red cards and Veliz had played.
Which told me when Veliz come on without looking and knowing nothing, for Liz to play so early, right? Because Ange was talking about Christmas time or halfway through the season. Even if he hasn't shone when I see him in 1 game, the 5-0 away at EFL Trophy at Colchester,
Yeah.
He came on a sub then. I only see him on that, and he hit a couple of powder puff shots. But what it tells me is he must have shown a lot in training to be getting on that team and get on the pitch. So that's a good thing. So that's a plus. You can read between the lines and say, hang on, this kid's got to be good. Not only he's just made the bench, he ain't made the bench just to sit on it and keep it warm. He's brought him on. So Ange's seen something in him. So you can mark that in your mind. Let's put that marker down because Ange's definitely seen something in him he likes. So he may well start him, but I don't see he'll start him at the expense of Richie unless Richie plays on the left and he plays through the middle and Son doesn't play. And then you've got Richie, Villiers, and Sonny. I don't know if Villiers can.
Son on the bench in case things go wrong. I don't think that's a terrible idea, you know.
Yeah, he scored 6 goals in X amount of games. If Son's fit, look, we got 16 days. We don't care.
I get what you're saying.
100%
get it,
international teams. So Ange should really go with the strongest team that he's got that are fit to play. So if that means Son and Maddison still playing, even if they want to play, or they feel fit enough to play, which they both did in previous games. They've both been carrying knocks for a couple of games. We don't know if I don't know if Maddison took any heavy tackles against Liverpool. I can't remember now. Son didn't have that many touches, but he got the goal. That's all you want of him, right? So, no, you play them. Them two play. I mean, like, you know, you play virtually the same team again if they're fit, and then Villiers gets a chance to come on, you know. And
totally agree with Haz. We do agree with your comment, mate. Richie did play well.
Great game.
Come on, Haz, come on. Come on.
Oh, guys, we unfortunately are winding down, you guys. I forgot to say that. My wife came home with lunch. I've been.
All right, Haz, you can't come on, Haz. You can't come on. That's for predicting 4-2 against Arsenal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's your punishment. Haz. Hey, you guys. Do what?
Did you get Subway?
I did get Subway. Yeah,
I was going to say the cup. You can see from the cup and the cookie.
I've been munching the cookie. I couldn't wait on that. I got a spicy Italian. Was my sandwich. In case anybody wanted to know, it's a good choice, I think. Haz says he's just eating. Sorry, and I think that you're about to go eat too, if I'm not mistaken, Jose.
I'm gonna go and cook for the family. I've got to go and cook chicken noodle or chicken chow mein, however you want to call it. I'm gonna go and cook for the family now.
Sounds delicious. Well, guys, real quick, can you throw your links in the chat for me?
Where am I?
I just want to get. Hey, and Julie says it was a great show. Mom says we did a good job. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, she's a good one. And takes me to England to see Spurs, to see Tottenham. Whenever we go, we stay in Tottenham, which is kind of an experience in and of itself. Tottenham is an interesting place to stay. You know, it's we'll just say that. I don't want to say anything bad about the area, but it's interesting for sure. Guys, my buddies here who are on the show with me today, who are graciously spending their time here, joining me, they have their own little projects that they do. For Jose, it is a YouTube channel.
Now I'm gonna get deep for you now.
And for my buddy Adrian Stroka down below, it is a Facebook page, and I'm putting it in a banner, and I'm also going to put it in the comments for everybody, whichever is easier for you to copy and paste and get to. Please, if you're watching this live, recorded, anything, please get over to Adrian's Facebook group. He's got a ton of members, over 1,000. Please get there. You can talk Spurs with other people. You think this is a good place to talk Spurs with friends?
Over 12,000.
Over 12,000. He's got over 12,000.
He's great.
Jesus Christ. Well, nice work, man. Nice work. You've been doing
4 years.
Well, hey, 4 years, 12,000. That's 3,000 a year. That's a good number. So, and then also here is Jose El Cockerel. Love it. And then we've got Jose with El Tel Cockerel, his YouTube channel. Guys, if you're here and you're supporting me, this channel wouldn't be half as good as it is without Jose hanging out with me during it. So please get over to his channel where you can get more of him. He's an awesome guy, very smart, as you can tell, knows his stuff. Please get over to his channel and subscribe. Please get to Adrian's YouTube channel or Facebook group. God, I can't talk today. And subscribe to that too, or join. Do the right thing for both of these guys here. And if you're watching and you haven't liked or subscribed, please do both. And I just have to add, I feel like such a slag, but I got a Patreon here, and since I can't do super chats, I can't get YouTube members quite yet. We're on the way. We're climbing. If you'd like to donate to the channel, please check out the Patreon. There's some gifts that come with the membership. And right now we've got 2 patrons who have been helping out the show, Chris Peters and Wayne Bonner. Just wanted to thank them. They're wonderful chaps all around. Even before they were patrons, they've always been great. That doesn't make them great. It's just that they are great people and also patrons. So thank you to them. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to you guys for joining us. Thanks for everybody watching. If you're watching on repeat, you're a legend. Please like and subscribe. We are only 22 away from 300, guys. Please help us reach that goal and help us bring you more awesome Spurs content. But again, guys, I gotta run. Any last words from you guys before we head out?
No, thank you very much for having us on,
No,
Colin.
thanks for having us on. We
Of
wait
course.
with breath to see. Well, that won't be long now. I mean, like tomorrow, isn't it? I mean, tomorrow should be the press conference.
Yeah.
We'll see who's declared fit and who isn't, and who may have a knock and who may not.
Is the press tomorrow or is it Friday for Saturday's game? I know,
Does
because we're early.
Thursday. Does he do a Thursday one? When we're,
Last week we were on Friday and we played.
was
Saturday.
it might be. I'm not sure. I know we've had press conferences on Thursdays and Fridays.
Yeah, we have had them both. Yeah, you're quite right. But we're the early game Saturday, so it could be Thursday, Adrian.
Yeah.
Well,
game Saturday, aren't we?
We're looking forward to it, and we'll have coverage of it, or some talk about it here, regardless of what day it is. We're doing a show tomorrow. We're doing a show Friday. Tomorrow, unfortunately, Jose has to travel for work and will not be able to join us. So it'll be a little bit different around here, but it'll be a fully open show. The chat will be open. I'll put the link in the chat. I mean, everybody who wants to come on can come on. We'll get a real rowdy one in here, and then Jose will be back soon, hopefully.
On Friday. We're on Friday. But if I'm not in meetings at work tomorrow, I'll quickly come on and I'll make a comment in the channel tomorrow.
You're a good man. You're an awesome guy. See, I've got good people here with me. Guys, I'm just gonna throw this banner up. It's gonna cover all of us up. But I put this up every time now, and it's just to say thank you to everybody who watches and likes the show. It is only possible because of the viewers like you. Without you guys, there would be no channel. Again, I also want to close with what I always say. Thank you for joining us. Please show somebody some love today. Be nice to a stranger. I hope you have the very best day possible. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah. And F your